What's up everybody? Elden Ring is just around the corner. So today, I made a video review of my top 20 hardest bosses that I encountered from the FromSoftware Soulsborne Sekiro series. Take note, everything on this list is just my personal opinion based on my experience on playing these games. Starting up with number 20 is both Man-Eater of Demon Souls and Executioner Smough and Dragon Slayer Ornstein of Dark Souls 1. The area before going to Man-Eater is already a pain in the ass, going through a lot of narrow paths where you'll get a chance of falling off and being pushed by the enemies, especially those fucking gargoyles. And top of that, once you enter the boss arena, surprise! There's a huge beast that's waiting for you to fight on a narrow arena too. And even if you manage to lower his health, a second health bar and another Man-Eater will appear, making this fight more challenging. And speaking of double health and double enemy, tying up on number 20 is Dragon Slayer Ornstein and Executioner Smough of Dark Souls 1. Multiple bosses on games are a real pain in the ass, especially to those players that rely heavily on target locking. And these two are known for that kind of difficulty. Even if you manage to finish the first phase, prepare yourself for a bigger threat because those two were going to combine for another round of fight. Next, number 19 will be Flamelurker of Demon Souls. There's nothing special in this boss aside from the fact that he's just a pure brute force. In my opinion, he's also the fastest boss you'll ever encounter on Demon Souls. The only reason he's low on my list is because how you can easily exploit him using certain items like Flame Resistance Ring and Purple Flame Shield, which reduce fire damage to almost zero. Making it to number 18 would be Abyss Watcher of Dark Souls 3. Abyss Watcher would be the first boss on DS3 that will give you a hard time fighting. As for the other early game bosses are... never mind. Going back to Abyss Watcher, this boss is so fast and relentless and will surely gives you a pretty tough fight early on the game. Aside from that, after defeating the first health bar, prepare for a second phase, in which there's a lot of bullshit will going to happen, and he will definitely hit you harder with just a couple of hits if you're not too careful. Going on to my number 17 would be the Mighty Knights of Dark Souls trilogy. Artorias of the Abyss on Dark Souls 1, Sir Alone on Dark Souls 2, and Slave Knight Gale of Dark Souls 3. I made these bosses tied up on number 17 because they have a lot of common. And yes, their difficulty is pretty similar too. All these three iconic knights came from Dark Souls DLC, and they all offer a pretty tough fight and can surely punish you for a single mistake. These bosses doesn't made it higher on my list because majority of their moves are pretty much easy to bait and punish, especially those jumping attacks. And on my number 16 spot is Pontiff Sulyvahn from Dark Souls 3. Once you see an epic arena and a very well composed background music, you'll surely know that the boss fight will be a difficult one, and Pontiff is the perfect example for this. When you enter Pontiff's arena, you'll just see him waiting and chilling on the far side, and once you enter his hit zone, he'll relentlessly attack you with his different combinations of slash and thrust attacks. And if the first phase is not challenging enough for you, wait for his second phase where he will summon a clone and will barrage you with long-range aerial and AoE attacks. Only thing about his attacks is it can be parried and will make it a hell a lot of an easier. This will make this boss an easy fight for you, especially if you're a parry god, in which I didn't able to do on majority of my Dark Souls playthrough. Taking the number 15 spot on my list is Orphan of Kos, Bloodborne. Kos is the final boss of Hold Hunter's DLC of Bloodborne. He's truly one of the terrifying boss of the Soulsborne series with his insane agility and damage plus the relentlessness of his attacks. Many players and gamers really have a hard time dealing with him. The reason he's lower on my list is because how easily he can be parried and how I easily exploit him with my favorite Souls game tactic, which is the forward dodge technique. At number 14, presenting you my first entry from Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, the Guardian Ape. This enormous beast will literally shit on you, and if throwing loads of shit on you is not enough, this angry beast will also let you taste his smelly ass. Guardian's Ape attack is so hard to predict because it's just going wild and just keep on attacking on the battlefield. After you finally take his head and thought it's already over, then think again, because this bastard can even fight again without his head for another round of fight. It's also worth mentioning that after you defeated this shitty monster, he's going to get back for revenge, and guess what? You're going to fight him on a much smaller arena with his fucking girlfriend. Crazy! And taking the number 13 spot, a very well-known boss on Sekiro, Genichiro Ashina. If there is one boss on Sekiro that you will get tired fighting, then it will surely be Genichiro. Genichiro is present on the beginning, mid, and late game of the story, although the first encounter is just a gimmick for the intro of the story. Genichiro's difficulty depends on how much you have learned on the game mechanics. He is the perfect skill check on what you have learned from the start, including parrying, Mikiri counters, and dodgings. Although his first and second phase are almost similar, he's the first boss that will introduce a third health with additional set of skills like jumping and lightning attacks. These new attacks are very intimidating on the first time you saw it, but once you battle Jenny over and over again, you will notice that these attacks can be used as a perfect counter for you to defeat him. Moving on to number 12 is the good old owl, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. If you manage to get certain questline on Sekiro, you will fight Owl twice on the game. The first encounter on Owl is on the Ashina dojo where you also fight Genichiro. This fight is difficult because just like you, he has a lot of shinobi tools for his disposal, like shuriken, firecracker, poison, and even an anti-healing smoke bomb, which can be super annoying if you get hit. And also, his weapon is so enormous that can surely deal a huge amount of HP or posture damage upon hitting. If you think the Great Shinobi Owl on the dojo is hard enough for you to handle, then wait for his comeback to the Hirata State Memory where you will going to fight him again as Owl Father, where he is a hell a lot quicker and can do some insane abilities like performing Mikiri counters, changing vertical and horizontal slash, flame attacks, and many more. Every Dark Souls has an oversized dragons. The common thing about these dragons is how notoriously strong they are even though you will not gain any trophy or achievements on defeating them. So if you are a real masochist who loves dying continuously, then at number 11, we have Black Dragon Calamite Dark Souls 1, Ancient Dragon Dark Souls 2, and the notorious Dark Eater Midir Dark Souls 3. Let's start with Calamite. I'll be honest on my Dark Souls playthrough. Calamite is the hardest boss I ever faced on that game. His attacks deal so much damage, and Calamite's hitbox are quite crazy too, and ever since I've been into the Soulsborne games, one of my main enemy is the boss size and camera angles. Speaking of camera angles, Ancient Dragon of Dark Souls 2 will surely fuck up your screen with its massive size. Even though he's very slow, his attacks are quite punishing, especially the Flying Flame Breath. I did remove all my armor in order to outrun it, but the trade-off is I'm quite vulnerable on his physical attacks. In that case, Ancient Dragon can really punish players for their single mistake. If Calamite is fast and ferocious and Ancient Dragon is strong and devastating, then let's combine it with one fucked up dragon, Dark Eater Midir Dark Souls 3. Midir is one of the top hardest boss on the Soulsborne series based from many players. The reason I managed to defeat him in few tries is with the help of my livestream viewers. I've beaten a lot of huge dragons and monsters in different games, and hitting their legs or tail are always been so effective to me. But Midir is way different compared to them. Hitting him on the legs or tails will getting you nowhere. He can surely punish you anywhere you go near him, back, side, under, front. And I'm telling you, his attacks are no joke at all, cause he can 2 to 3 hits you even in Ember form. The only way to defeat him is to keep track on what kind of move he will make, and always hit his head to get the most damage on him. This will wrap up half of the list of my top 20 hardest FromSoftware bosses. And on my next video, I will tackle the top 10 up to top 1 hardest FromSoftware bosses I ever encountered on my playthrough. So don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell for you to be updated on my channel. And make sure to press that thumb button if you like this video. See you on the next one, and always remember, play hard, make it harder. Boom! From the back! Patay ako, patay! Ay! Putang ina! Gago! Ay, shit!
迷えば破れる。そう言ったであろう。
Hey, my loves! Nagkita na naman tayo. Ang tagal kitang di nilabanan sa Gentle Blade. Nababasag yata ang posture ko. Umabot. Nice one. Ito talaga makipagpalihan kay my loves. Let's go. Sabi, ikaw lang ang mabilis, ha? Binasic! One try! Sorry! Mahal kita, pero basic. No! I don't wanna blame you! Ay! Ba't kita kailangang patayin? Oy! Huwag kang papapatay! Fuck! What the fuck? Putang